guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back at one of my original undisclosed locations because guess what? There's a little bit of a return. I have the 2021 Mini Cooper S convertible, but guess what? The big news of the day, the 6-speed manual is back in town and we have it in our drop top Mini. But before we get into this original small maneuverable go-kart for the roads, let's talk about what's going on here. Mini. Yes, things have changed. Yes, they are owned by BMW, but you know what? A lot of that same special sauce recipe is spilled into this 2021 Mini Cooper S. You're gonna get that iconic styling that really is just so unique. You're not gonna confuse this with any other car on the road. Plus, you're getting the big fun factor that's gonna make a smile that goes ear to ear so easily with this particular car. Now, for 2020, the 6-speed manual went bye-bye. It almost looked like it was gonna go the way of the dinosaur. But the great news is the awesome people, the enthusiasts at Mini and BMW have decided to bring back that 6-speed. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna answer two questions with this review. Is this car the better car with the 6-speed manual? And is this a viable competitor to the almighty Mazda Miata? So let's go ahead, let's drop into this drop top and see if we could answer those questions and just how good is that 6-speed manual in this Mini Cooper S. Let's find out. Right off the bat, this one has the iconic package, which is gonna give us those beautiful white racing stripes. When we start at the front of the business, yes, the headlight shape has changed a little bit, but still has that overall design philosophy. Instead of round, it's oval, but what I'm loving is you're gonna get the LED daytime running lamp, you got that projector beam style LED headlight in there, and what's awesome is just like the originals, when the bonnet goes up, headlight stays, and the rest goes up in the air. So you're gonna get a hole on each corner where that headlight is housed. Now, as you work your way down, we have our functional fog lamps. I love the way they went with a nice, large, round fog lamp style. Really gives that rally history to it because there is a lot of rally legendary work that this Mini brand has done, especially with John Cooper and the John Cooper Works Minis, which guess what? You could actually still get that name on your Mini today. Now, as we come across that center grille area, I love the way when you go S, you're gonna get that nice bright red S, and it almost looks like a nice little twisty bit, the kinds that you and I love to drive, especially with a 6-speed manual. So I'm liking that style. You have your Mini badge, clean, clear up top. Functionality on the grille, nice flat black. I'm liking the chrome finish. It actually balances nicely, especially with the particular color that we have. There is a section of gloss black. Of course, we have a front mounted license plate because the corporate headquarters for BMW and Mini is in New Jersey. The awesome news though, look at this, full functionality on both corners of this lower grille section. And like I said, normally I'm not a big chrome fan, but on this Mini, it kind of just fits it very nicely, especially with the blue and the white. Now, when we get up onto the hood, the zonk of the day is non-functional center scoop. It would have been beautiful if this was actually functional, but it does look good, but I'm still gonna zonk it. You do have the iconic stripes. I love the way they kind of pinstriped on the outside, the black with the white, goes right to the edge of the bonnet. Remember, hood, bonnet, same thing, just depends where you're living and what type of car you're talking about. When we come around the bend, we do have some optional wheels. You have this multi-cone spoke. They call this the cone shape design, multi-cone spoke design. I love the way the center cap covers all of the lug nuts. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this wheel? So this is an 18-inch wheel, 205 on the width, 40 series sidewall. Remember, this is front wheel drive. This particular Mini Cooper S is front wheel drive. I don't mind the flat black. It really ties it in. It makes it look like that small, very versatile, very usable car that really just built this name and all that wonderful history. Nice, strong body line. This is actually the corner, the side of the bonnet, and then you get into your fender right here. I'm glad that they put that S badge there. Just a little bit of chrome and the side marker lights. One of the things that's unique about Minis of the old and the new is that this brushed aluminum trim actually goes all the way around. The total circumference of any Mini, whether it's a convertible or a coupe. I love the bright white style on the mirror caps. They actually changed up this style just last year. Really still digging it very nicely. You have gloss black on the window, on the windshield frame. I am gonna zonk that antenna up there. It kind of gives it a weird RC car feel to it. So I wish they would have just, I don't know, put it somewhere else or just went shark fin antenna, but you got this guy. That was the noise from the antenna, not from me. I'm just telling you. But that's just, I don't know, just kind of makes it a little too, like I said, like an RC car. You got the flat black on the bottom. The thing I love is you got 2 doors. And yes, we're comparing this to a Miata. So the big difference is obviously front wheel drive on this particular car, rear wheel drive on the Miata. But one thing the Miata can't touch is this has seating for 4. Try doing that in a Miata. Actually, I want you to do that in a Miata and send me the pictures and the video to go with that. Working our way back, that beautiful 2-door style, keeps it clean. Coming to the rear, the one thing I don't like, which I know it looks old school, but I don't like it, is how the convertible top just kind of sits really high up here. The reason why is, one of the biggest issues is that, believe it or not, the rearview mirror, it's blocking your view. So thankfully those side mirrors are nice and large, but it would have just been nicer if it kind of tucked in and maybe it had a nice tonneau cover. That's just me. Coming around the back, the tail in the business, some of the best tail lights in the business. Those actually have the LED Union Jack. If you're wondering what's a Union Jack, you should have paid attention in history class. The Union Jack is that British flag. You also see it on the Australian flag. The reason why is because the English went and colonized Australia. Little fun fact, little history lesson in case you were sleeping back in high school. But at the tail in the business, there's that chrome trim I was telling you about. Love the nice chrome in the center section, the mini badge, and then one of my favorite things is this twin outlet exhaust right in the center there. One of my not so favorite things is gonna be what's around it, this fake vent. Nah, get rid of this, zonk that. But even the chrome, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm getting old or maybe I bumped my head on the drive over here or something, or maybe it just rained all over me, I don't know, but it's actually working. The chrome is working for me, just the fake vent is not. And then you got your Cooper S badge on the back. But why don't we pop that bonnet and see what's powering our Mini? All right, guys, we got the bonnet popped. And just like I told you, you can see the holes for those areas for the headlights to kind of, as you drop the bonnet down, for those to peek right through. Underneath the hood is a sea of black plastic. And they really do shoehorn an engine in there. So when you go Cooper S, you're actually getting a little bit more. That's the nice thing. If you need even more, you could go John Cooper, but what you're looking at is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 189 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this review, we have a 6-speed manual transmission. If you know how to dance on your twinkle toes, 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. The car in convertible form weighs around 3,000 pounds. MPGs, 23 in the city, 32 on the highway. Now, when we're comparing this to the Miata, it does weigh a little bit more than Miata, and it's pretty much on par power-wise if you're going Mini Cooper S. If you want more power, go John Cooper style, and you're gonna get more power, and this being front-wheel drive compared to rear-wheel drive in the Miata. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear what kind of sound this Mini Cooper S makes. All right, guys, we're inside the Mini Cooper S. I put the top up. I want to kind of showcase what the space is like with the top up. I think that's important. We all know what the space is with the top down. You kind of have infinite amount of space. But I know you're at that point where you're saying, Joe, I've been wanting a drop top. It's getting harder and harder to find one that really kind of fits my budget, fits my style, and fits that fun driving experience. How much is this Mini Cooper S? So this particular one with the optional 18-inch wheels, the iconic package, and a bunch of other great features, you're looking at an MSRP right around $40,000. So let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. Now, door panels on the Minis are a little bland. You have a lot of black material. The good news is it's soft touch up top. The bad news is there is a bit of gloss black. So fingerprint city for sure. I do like the way they shape the door handle. It's actually a C shape, and they put the lock unlock buttons in there. You can see where the speaker is mounted. The armrest is as hard as a rock, and that door pocket, maybe 2 soft batch cookies, Keebler Elf soft batch cookies. That's about it. no cups going in there whatsoever. Now, when you go from the door panel to the dash, we do have the optional Harman Kardon sound system. I do like the shape of the AC vents, and I love this checkered flag design. Very, very classy. A little bit of gloss, but if you notice, it hides the fingerprints. They should have done this on the doors. So that's why I'm gonna zonk the doors. Should have used this material, but the soft touch is really great. Does not make any glare, which is awesome as well. And then of course you're gonna get that one-of-a-kind infotainment system. Only in a Mini are you gonna find this. So that's an 8.8-inch infotainment system screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, as you can see. Is it a touch screen? Of course it's a touch screen. You could go into your car features, you could go into vehicle settings and set everything up exactly the way you want it. I go back to navigation, select the map, very, very fast reacting, and I'm really digging the style of the map. Throw it into reverse. There's your backup camera. I wish it took up a little bit more of the screen, but you are getting that great sensory technology and trajectory, which is awesome as well. Back into neutral, hit that, and we're right back where we started. As we come down, you do have your dual climate control. Easy to figure out. I like the rubber that they put on the knob so your fingers don't slip. You do have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. But you know what? At 40 grand, I would like ventilated seats, so I am gonna zonk that, but you can't get ventilated seats even on the Miata. So let's make it a half zonk and call it a day. I do like the toggle switches. So very, very rally car-esque. You have your start, stop, and then what I really like here is you got your sport green mode. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna put this into sport. I'm gonna have Lori show the screen. Watch this. Bam, sport, there we are, top down, iconic package with the race curbing means we're ready to rock and roll. And that's how we're gonna be driving in our Mini convertible. As we drop down with the drop top, you do have a 12-volt USB and a USB-C, a nice little cubby down there for some Skittles. Taste the rainbow. You could drop the top and see the rainbow. 2 cup holders. That 6-speed manual transmission is back. Thank you, Mini. I really like the actual shape of it. The knob actually, shift knob, is actually very, very nice to hold in the palm of your hand, and really the gates to get into each gear are very, very crisp. The only thing is it's a little bit long on the throw, but I'm willing to deal with it because I'm happy it's back. You do have that BMW style iDrive control knob if you don't want to touch the screen, get you in your navigation and all that. Good old fashioned e-brake, so you can just pull it and whip out the back and do a nice little 180 right in your parking lot. Lift this up, you got a place for your phone. The only challenge is that this is like semi-soft. It's softer than the door panel armrest, but still not that soft. The great news is you can flip it right out of the way. So when you're driving and you're ready to do that 180, just go boom, just hit it. Swing out the back. The big thing you want to swing is swing your butt into these seats. I love the leather. This does have the upgraded material. Wonderful stitching. The bad news is it's all manual seat controls, but the way they look and the softness is great. You do have the hammy extension, which is nice, manual hammy extension. And then when it comes to space, you got plenty, I mean, plenty of headroom. Plus we have back seats. But why don't you come over on the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Mini Cooper S. All right, guys, business time in this Mini Cooper S. I love the aluminum sill panel with the Mini Cooper S badging, which is great. Very classy with that little twisty bit. And then the pedals. Like I said, the 3 pedals are back. Nice size dead pedal, nice size pedals in the foot box, heel toe. You better believe it. Very nice to do. Overall, the seats are great, even though they're manual control. Would be nice to at least have electric assist on the driver, so I am gonna zonk that, but the seats feel really good. Steering wheel. Absolutely love this steering wheel. The thickness, the 2-piece leather, the red stitch work all the way around. The one thing that feels a little cheap are the buttons and the horn button, but I do like the way they brought the John Cooper Works badging in there. This is that style of steering wheel. And then the dash, you're getting that new updated LED setup. I love the way there's no glare whatsoever on the screen. You do have your speedometer right in the center. You got your tach over to the left, and then your fuel gauge on the right. The one last zonk I want to point out is that head-up display. I'm not really into the plastic panels. This is a 2021 car. It should be the style that goes up on the windshield without any kind of plastic there. But why don't we go ahead, let's drop the top real quick so you can see how that action goes. Now the wonderful news is you actually have 2 ways you could do this. You can go just regular sunroof style, so the canvas top is back, and look, hey, hands up like on a roller coaster. The Miata can't do that. Or go all the way, baby. So you're just gonna hold that, and it's gonna fold right back. Nice and convenient. You get a little chime telling you everything is good to go. Why don't we go ahead though, before we get to the boot, let's check out the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna enjoy sitting in this Cooper S. All right guys, one of the things that a Miata can't do is there's no room for back seats. There's no back seats whatsoever, but we do have back seats on our Mini Cooper S convertible. You're just gonna lift up, seat goes forward, and as you can see, hey, I could ride around like this. Or take a seat, and then here you are. Now, the one thing to be aware of is that for somebody tall like I that has broad shoulders, this piece right here kind of extends diagonally and gives you a little bit of a squeeze play. I guess if you're on a first date and you really want to be close to the person that you're with, this is the perfect situation to be in. Would I want to stay back here for hours and hours? No, but the great news is I don't have to stay home while you and your friend go for a nice ride. I could come enjoy it with you guys instead of missing out all the time. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the boot, because there's a bunch to put back there, because if you're ready, I'm ready. I want to go on throttle on this thing. All right guys, time to get into the boot or the trunk. We open it up, you just hit that button right under the Mini, you pull it down, and you have a nice little like loading dock setup. 5.7 cubic feet of space. The good news though is you could fold down those rear seats and get you a little bit more room. You do have a 12 volt, and there's actually a cargo little net on the driver's side for a box of Twinkies. And I really think that easily you could probably put 2 regular size carry-ons back there and be on your journey and really have that top-down fun experience. But you know what? Speaking of fun experience, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's road through some gears and go on throttle in our Mini Cooper S convertible. All right guys, we're in this 2021 Mini Cooper S. Being in a convertible, it's all about that top-down fun, but I wanted to start with the top up so that you could hear me a little bit. I have it in sport mode and we are ready to go on throttle. Here we go. A screaming tire is a happy tire. Little pop from the exhaust. Nice. It just goes to show you don't need 500, 600 horsepower to have fun. Nice downshift. A little go-kart, man. Brakes feel good. This is a ton of fun. Alright, so let's talk about what's going on here. We're in sport mode. I shut traction control and stability control off just to have a little bit more of a screeching tire, because like I said, screeching tire is a happy tire. Great to have the 6-speed manual back. It could use a little bit shorter throw and a little bit crisper engagement, but overall, I think for the variety of skill sets out there when it comes to driving a manual transmission and what people are wanting to do with this car, I think it really does have a nice overall feel to it as you're going through each gear. Visibility is so wonderful in this thing, and just the steering wheel. I mean, the way it's mounted to the steering column, the thickness of it, the 10 and 2 notches, it feels like you are in that little go-kart racer. And I mean that with the greatest amount of love and affection that I could give this car, because front-wheel drive, just like the originals, yes, of course I would love to see a manual all-wheel drive, but when you're comparing this to, say, a Miata or the the Fiat 124 Spyder, it is a different driving experience because of it being front-wheel drive, but definitely some good sound. Would like a little bit more. I noticed that every now and then off throttle you get a couple pops from the exhaust, so I would like just a little bit more of that. But of course there is the John Cooper S, which is going to elevate some of those things that I'm wanting. But overall steering feel is wonderful. I am going to zonk the amount of body roll. There's a lot of body roll in this particular vehicle, and I'm quite surprised by that, especially when you start to push it hard in some of the tighter twisty bits. But overall, it just puts a smile on your face. And like I said, a car that is light that doesn't have a ton of horsepower can still be so much fun. And this one does check off the boxes. Headroom with the top up, so much headroom in here. It doesn't feel, you know, cramped like a Miata, like a 124 Spider. So that's one big, huge caveat of it, is the amount of room that you have in here. The digital display, they put this film over it so that you're not getting any glare, which is wonderful. I just wish the head-up display was the kind where it just projects onto the windshield instead of having that little plastic display that kind of pops up. But let's go ahead and slow down again here. I want to do another on throttle from a dead stop. First gear. Here we go, on throttle. Smoke them if you got them. Nice. Carrying that speed. On the brakes. It's just so much fun, it really is. Working it, working it. Nice, the back end came out just a little bit there. Heel toe downshift. So quite amazing that through that twisty bit section, I was able to keep it in third all the way until that final corner. It's interesting that with the turbo staying in that sweet spot of the power band, you're able to get that acceleration you want as you come out of the turn. And that second to last turn, I really felt like I was able to steer a little bit with the rear of the vehicle, with this being a front wheel drive car. It had a little bit of movement there just to kind of project us a little bit more straightforward out of the turn. Really puts a smile on your face, and that's what this car is all about. It's about the enthusiast, the person who wants something a little bit different with so much character. All right, guys, here we go. Let's do it again, you and I. On throttle. Yeah! Nice. Brakes are excellent, good pedal feedback. If it just had a little bit more sound, I think that would just help with the overall experience. But the great news is, because of the height of the windshield frame, all the air just goes right over, and there's enough coming in, but it's not like it's buffeting all over the place, which is wonderful. Really like that setup. Depending on how tall you are, depending on, you know, if you go Mazda Miata RF, there is quite a buffeting. That could get annoying after a while, but with this, you do have the space. Getting to everything is wonderful. I love the rally style toggle switches for everything, from your start stop switch, the power top, the whole 9 yards. Really nicely done with a classic twist, and I'm so glad that the 6-speed is back. Of course, going this route, I really truly believe you gotta go 6-speed manual to get the full experience. But here we go, one more time for you, one more time for me. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! Feeling good. Now watch as we're able to carry all this speed through this last set of turns. On the brakes. On throttle right now, baby. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. It's a momentum car. It's about hitting your marks and just having that perfect line where you could carry the most speed, because with these types of cars, if you have to chop throttle, by the time you get back on, you're already losing seconds down that straightaway or around the competition, and it's hard to make it back up. But definitely Mini is bringing the fun factor. They keep bringing it, and thankfully, thanks to the 6-speed, they upped it back again where it should be. Everything else, the Harman Kardon sound system, the beautiful leather interior here is on point, and the cool retro style paint job on it is awesome. But we're going to get back to our little undisclosed parking lot location that we all love and know by now, and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day with this Mini Cooper S. I got to thank everybody over at Mini USA for allowing Rady's Rides access to this press fleet vehicle. It really goes to show that they are a no compromise type of organization that, you know what, they're going to do it their way. And their way is a really fun, unique way that if you're looking for that unique experience to the past, and especially now with a 6-speed manual transmission, you might want to take one of these for a spin. It might just surprise you and make you not want to go the Miata route. And if you haven't driven a manual in a while, this one really hits that sweet spot. But if you want to keep seeing drop top convertibles on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Click the second link, become a Rady's Rides Patreon member. Got to give it up. Queen of the camera, she's holding down the fort. Give Lori some love in the comment section. She's doing a fantastic job. Thank you for all that you do, Lori. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.